Hey Grady, how's preparation been going for this game against Tampa Bay?
Prep going good. Definitely want to get back on the right track. And second time going against them this year, and I'm gonna be sure it's gonna be some new things we see. But teams like to stay to the core who they are too. So definitely looking over some old stuff, but got to study the last two games they played, man. So I mean, at the end of the day, we just got to be our best selves and let the rest take care of itself.
I mean, when y'all play them, it's always tough. I know they got some losses, but the running backs look good. And they got some young receivers.
Mm-hmm.
How are you assessing that challenge?
I think everything will be up, man. It's hard to replace the two guys they lost, man. I'm sure leaders in their locker room, but also, great players. So definitely, feel for them on a personal level, but on another way of it, they got great skill that's still there. And the running backs, and since we played them, 44 came on and did his thing too. So we definitely got to be prepared for that. And whether it's some zone scheme, gap schemes, out of all, personnels and fronts. And so I'm definitely sure they want to try to lean on that run a little bit. But I mean, I don't think they're going to shy away from passing the ball. I'm sure they got plenty of skill to do what they got to do.
Grady, what are you seeing out of some of these younger guys on the defensive line? I'm specifically thinking of guys like Brandon, Zach Harrison, even Rook, those kinds of guys in their development so far.
Yeah, I think they're getting better every week. You know what I'm saying? I think they're getting better every week. The more you play, I feel like you always get better, especially for Zach and Rook. But for Brandon, I mean, he put in work every day, still working in the weight room, work hard against the offense here during practice. So whenever he get his opportunity, I'm sure he'll be ready. But it's just awesome to see their growth, and then the more time you spend in the building, the more time you spend in the weight room, the more time you spend on the field, you always elevate and try to get better as long as you put making the work count, you know what I'm saying, not just counting the days. And I feel like all three of those guys are really taking advantage of every opportunity that they're given, and some maybe getting more expanded role as time continue to roll. But whatever they ask of them, and I mean, those guys show up every day. And I mean, the standard that they set for themselves probably higher than that we would hope for them. Just want them to do well. So they made it the right stuff, and they're gonna have some bright futures.
Raheem was talking about just on the in the trenches, basically offensive and defensive side of the ball. It's kind of the grown man's position. You got to be kind of physically built for it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember about like breaking in kind of as a starter in those early years of your career and getting to that?
Yeah, physically and mentally ready for it. It's a big spot that requires a lot of maturity. There's a lot of stuff happening in there that you don't get to see as a fan sometimes, just watching it far away. But I mean, just reading and being familiar with certain blocks, the turn of a guard's shoulders can mean one thing versus another. And it's just and then just the mentality and the tenacity that it takes to play in there is definitely a mature position, I would say. I don't know if it's based off, because I started a couple games rookie year, then from there on after that was a starter, but it take a lot of fight, you know what I'm saying, and you got to feel it, no experience is like game experience, and the more you play, the better you get, so that's what they say, just the more you see these guys get active, the more they play, the better they get and look more comfortable. And it's just something you gotta feel and understand versus it just being told to you, and because you're not running in space, it's combat every snap, and you gotta feel pressure, know where to fight it, know when you can take your shots, know when you gotta be disciplined. So it's a lot to go into it.
Great, we talked with Coach Raheem about you guys facing Tampa Bay so soon. How do you feel about that division opponent? So you have control over the schedule.
Yeah, like you say, no control over the schedule. However, gotta go. Gotta be ready to go. I mean, it's been years where we played all the division games in like 6 games. So it is what it is. And you got to take it how it comes and be ready to. Make adjustments off need be, but at the end of the day, we got to go out there, play the game against a familiar opponent, knowing there's going to be some differences, but at the same time, it's mano a mano. That's what the division play is about, especially when the games are so close.
What have these past 2 days been like, and how has the team responded from Sunday?
Past 2 days been good. Yesterday we did some community service, packing some stuff up for families going through hurricane stuff, so we got to do a little team camaraderie stuff there. And then Monday was a tough day of just peeling the Band-Aid off from really seeing some missed opportunities that we had and things that we can get better at for sure. So there's been a lot of growth, and I think going forward, we've been through what we kind of need to get back on the right track, So definitely not a good feeling when you feel like you let one go based off things that you can control. but very in a optimistic place now. So ready to just get better and go back to work.
What differentiates each of the Buccaneers' 3 different running backs?
Each three of I will speak to them as a collective group. I think all 3 of them. I think they're strong. I think they're quick and shifty. You know, how they do it may be different, but I feel and see each one of them getting the same type of run plays and that they get when they back there together. You can do some more, you know, different dynamic things. But I don't see one play where one can't do that another one can't do. So it's hard to say, to take each 3 of them and dissect them for me anyway and be like, oh well, if he's at the running back, they're not gonna run this. If he's there, because they put 7 through the tackles just like they'll let number 1 go through the tackles. You know, they both get outside runs. You know, so that's a tough question for me to go player by player.
To kind of go back to just your development early in your career, I know you had a wrestling background in high school. I'm just curious as to how you felt like that athletic experience helped you adapt to, especially when you talk about like
just playing defensive line and stuff like that. Yeah, so having a wrestling background, you know, we wrestle, grapple, whatever it is, you basically just body position and, you know, feeling pressures first and certain stuff. So basically when you say take it a run game, for instance, certain blocks, you might have, say like a tackle or guard doing like down blocks, like going away from you. But one down block might be a double team versus doing like a down around, where like doing like a counter or something. And you'll feel the pressure difference, you know. And my D-line coach in college, man, he always just taught me fight pressure. So it's like you never want to take the easy way out. And even if you feel like you can go around a block, you're going to give up a lot of space to go around try to make a play versus when you fight the pressure and try to make a gap smaller or, you know, come through the block to make a play. So that's one thing we do talk about is eliminating space here. Coach always tells us about, you know, space is the enemy of, you know, good run defense. So whatever we can do to limit the space to try to make the play is what we do. And I think wrestling definitely has helped me become a better football player. You know, I mean, I was at 18 years old, 31 now. And but yeah, so it's been cool, man. I love that experience of wrestling, and I think it's just really a skill that I never forget. But more than the physicality of it, just the mental aspect, being put in a position to where it's, you know, you 1-on-1, everybody watching, and just trying to come out on top.
Grady, when you have a game like Sunday, where maybe it's not the right way to say it, but it gets away from you guys a little bit, what is the difference in the week or the following game that doesn't let a loss like that linger? Because you typically see really good teams, when they're on the wrong end of a loss like that, bounce back and have great performances next week.
Yeah, I think it's about sticking to your process, going about your business about how you won the game. Obviously acknowledging some of the things that you fell short in, but you don't reinvent the wheel. You don't hit the panic button. And you just grind it up, you know, do what you got to do, learn from your losses, and try to be better.
Hey, Jessie, how's preparation been going here for Tampa Bay? They're going to be out with a couple of their weapons, but still got some running backs and some young receivers stuff.
Yeah, you know, they've still been running the ball really well. Their offense in a whole has still been, you know, putting up points, starting the games off fast. So it's been a lot of, you know, just getting back to what we're good at and some of our base stuff, and just going through, you know, all of our calls, going through all the run fit problems that, you know, the Buccaneers that they, you know, that they've shown throughout the week. So, you know, I think like you said, their receivers, their big receiver guys are hurt. But that I know what type of head coach, what kind of culture they have there, and they'll be ready to play. I think they'll try to run the football, take shots. I think Baker is still playing at a very high level. I think he's top 3 or whatever in completion rate. So he's seeing it well, and you know, I know some of their, like I said, older guys are out, but some of their younger guys can still go. Number 10, he's a speed guy. You got 15. We didn't see those two the last matchup, so I'm sure that they'll feature them a little bit more. And like I said, when you got a quarterback like Baker that you trust in, he's still going to be able to move the pocket and try to throw the ball as well. So just got to be prepared for the run and the pass.
Did you watch Monday night? Look, the Ravens controlled it, but Tampa didn't go. It kept sticking around.
Yeah, the Bucs did not go away. That's what I know Baker as, Baker's a baller. I got so much respect for him. It don't matter who's out there with Baker. I just think that the way that he plays the game, it's just fearless, and he's had a lot of success, and that's the leader. So can't underestimate, with them having guys out, that doesn't matter. We got to focus on what we need to do to stop those guys.
Yeah, Jessie, given that you learned from your mistakes, what do you think as a defense you guys learned from the last game with Seattle going into the Bucs game? Yeah,
I think situationally, I thought we weren't good enough in the end of the half situation. That's something that we're continue to talk about the details of being better in that. And then, like you just said, I think some of the explosive plays had got out of hand a little bit with some of our run gap fits and in the past. So, that's what we've been priding ourselves on, is not giving up explosive plays, and that did not happen last Sunday. So, just because you got one bad game doesn't mean that you got a bad season ahead of you. We still got everything that we want and ahead of us, and it's up to us to go and take it and take the South, run the South like we've been preaching.
And Jessie, what do you think your key factors in improving your red zone performances?
Yeah, the first thing is not letting them get down there. That's the first thing, not letting them get down there in the red zone. And then when we get down there, forcing guys. I think at the beginning of the season we did a really good job of forcing guys to kick field goals down there instead of getting 7 points. So Tampa Bay has done a really good job of scoring down there in the red zone. So it'll be a lot of talks and what we need to get better at in the red zone.
Jessie, you talked about limiting the explosive plays. Raheem talked about, making them beat you with the pass game. How much more of an emphasis is that this week with the injuries there?
Yeah, right now, like we said, the receivers are out, but, they're still going to run the ball, still do their normal stuff, and I still feel like they got a lot of trust in those young guys. I think you turn on the tape, you see number 10 taking the top off. He's a speed guy, and then you got 15. He's Baker trusts those guys and to make plays. So explosive plays, they'll try to take their shots for sure. They're not just gonna not throw the ball. Like I said, you just gotta be ready and be prepared.
Jessie, what impact does maybe not having a consistent pass rush at the way you guys would like impact what you guys as a secondary do?
I don't think that really matters as far as pointing the finger. All our pass rush isn't getting home yet. It's a collective effort, and I always said that the rush and the coverage works together. I feel like last week the pass rush got to heating up a little bit. You got James and you got Damone coming off the edge, and I think that's just something that you'll continue to see more and more. Those guys feeding off each other, and as a leader, I just feel like we got to play with a little bit more juice, a little bit more tenacity, and nasty, like just make it a nasty game. And that's what has to be the mindset of going to rush the quarterback. It's just I don't care what the lines say on the the play. Just go get the quarterback. Stay on sides, and but yeah, that'll be a big key as we continue to improve on what we need to.
You got no control over the schedule, but your thoughts about playing a division opponent again so soon?
I don't mind it, honestly. You get the familiar looks that you just seen a couple weeks ago. You see some of the stuff that they did after the game these past 2 weeks, and there's some similarities, but some of the stuff that they're switching up a little bit as well. So I don't mind it. I wish we could play all our divisional games right in a row and see where we stand at. But make no mistake, this is a big game for us on Sunday for sure.
Because of guys like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, do you think the Buccaneers' run game is kind of underrated at times?
Yeah, I don't think they get enough effort. I think last time we played them, I seen number 7 popping off the tape. Now you see number 44 starting to get a little bit more touches for them. So yeah, their run game isn't, they don't have a big name guy back there that's getting all this national media. I think they have a group that takes it. We're number 1, number 7, and then like I said, number 44 is starting to get his mix in there. And usually when you run the ball well, you start to run some bootlegs to open it up a little bit more, and then Obviously, when Mike is on the outside and you got Chris Godwin, that opens it up a little bit more too. So, yeah, that's just a challenge that the Buccaneers that they present, and they trust Baker enough to, pick the ball up and throw it as well when they're, in pass situations. So, yeah, we keep talking about the 2 receivers that's down, but that creates a lot of opportunity, in this league. Unfortunately, that happens, and but there's so many other stories that's, this guy's became an undrafted guy to a great story based off of injury. So I'm sure those guys will be ready. Those young receivers, they'll be ready for their shot.
You talk about the respect that you have for Baker. Can you just kind of go into that a little bit more? Like what kind of undergirds that?
Yeah, we came in together, going against each other in the AFC North, and just seeing Baker, just the process throughout our years, him being written off and Baker's not good enough in Cleveland, and then he gets traded, and then he just gets picked up off this, and then the Rams get him, and then he's playing well. So there's just so many situations that he's faced adversity and then come out on the other side, and I had a feeling what Baker was and who he was. I could kind of see it, but he didn't have that much success in Cleveland. And sometimes it happens like that. But the person that he is, I think, just explains the way why he, where he is now. And I got nothing but respect for guys that's been written off, and being able to come back and, continue to stand in the fight. And no matter what people say on the outside, they stand up and they figure it out. And I think Baker has done that.
What are some of the challenges playing the Bucs in such a close proximity, and they're getting back their all-pro state?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good challenge. You are looking at the tape, and it feels like it was just yesterday that you played them. So you're wondering, hey, what are some of their adjustments? I'm sure they're thinking, what are some of our adjustments? So it'll definitely be a little cat and mouse game to figure out, what their plan is that day. For the most part, that'll be kind of the plan heading forward. But obviously, Winfield's a great player. They're getting Kalijah Kancey. All those guys up front can all play. So know that we'll get their best effort, just like we did the other night. And so we got to be ready to roll.
What did you take from their game with Baltimore? They didn't go away. It was a tough game.
No, it's a resilient team, and that's anytime Coach Bowles, that's what you're getting out of those guys, and so we know that they have a really good offense on the other side, and they have a really good defense. So we got to be ready for all parts of it, and know it's going to be a game till the end, 60-minute game, just like it was the first time we played them.
And does Yaya Diaby, local kid here, does he come off in the film review?
Yeah, he's a really good player. He's got kind of an arsenal of moves. I know can remember him coming out because Raheem really liked him, and so Raheem and I had we had our offices across the hall, and he was always talking about him, and so have definitely known about him from his time in college, and he just continues to grow, and he's a really good player.
You brought up Winfield at the beginning, and obviously first time around he wasn't available to them. What does he specifically insert into the secondary for them?
Yeah, I mean he's just got such a great feel for the game. He's got great instincts. I'm sure he's getting everybody coordinated back there on the back end and even at the second level. So he's been a really good player for a long time, and know that we have our hands full with a lot of the issues that he presents, whether he's in the box or as a post safety. You just got to be aware of him at all times. So definitely looking forward to challenge, knowing that we'll get their best effort, especially with him in the ball game.
Zach, confidence has been a pretty big part of the offense the last 3 weeks. Are you seeing different things from him now in the last few weeks than compared to the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I think there's been a good steady growth with Kyle. He's getting the ball within the rhythm of the offense. He's doing a great job, whether he's on the backside, the front side. He's doing a good job of his route stems and understanding the intent of the play. So he continues to grow. Coach Koger's coaching his butt off with him, and he's taking coaching the right way. He's playing hard in the run game, which has been awesome. And so looking forward to him continuing to grow and just keep finding the ball within the flow of the offense has been the biggest thing.
When you're coming to Atlanta, a lot of people ask you, or even talk to you about Kyle Pitts, because I feel like before coming to the season, that was one of the big question marks of this offense. Can Kyle Pitts be the Kyle Pitts from a couple of years?
Yeah, I think it was a collection of really all the guys. You've seen these guys from a distance, and you watched them get drafted, early off, obviously in the first round, and so you've kind of had your pulse on them and known about him for a long time. I can remember watching Kyle at Florida, and we'd be on the bus, traveling to an away game, and he's going off for 200 yards, and so have seen him play for a long time, and certainly knew when we were getting here that. First of all, knew that he wasn't completely healthy the last couple years, and so being able to get him, fully healthy was the biggest thing, and then just finding exactly his role within the offense. Was it going to be 12 personnel, 11 personnel, how he's going to fit, and I think he's doing a great job.
Now that you've been here through OTA's training camp and now almost having the season, is that are you seeing why people always talk about Kyle Pitts? The guys call him like a unicorn.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's athletically on the field. There's really nothing that he can't do, and I think he's playing a lot faster, which is everything that we're preaching. Even dating back to the spring is like when you play fast, you're very hard to defend, and so playing fast, knowing the intent of the play, all those things that can lead up to having success, and he's doing a good job with it.
You see a lot more upside for him also. Create that connection.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's still a young player. I think Kyle's 23 years old. You guys might know, but he's still, he's still growing up. He's still learning what it takes to be a pro every single day, every single play. Whether he's the primary target or he's on the backside of the route, just knowing that it does take all 11 at all times, and I think he's done a great job understanding that.
This may be a dumb question, but does playing fast mean more than just running every route out as fast as you can, and what goes into playing fast for you?
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of it is, first of all, knowing what to do. That's going to allow you to play faster, and I think, that's just your preparation throughout the week. And so I think he's done a great job with Coach Koger and those guys getting him ready to play so that he can play fast. In some instances, though, it is really just run fast, and there's certain routes that we're asking him to, hey, you go here, you hang a right, and this is the angle the quarterback's looking for, and it's as simple as that. But then there's also the nuanced routes where he's got to play a little bit more under control, like he's caught some of these balls in windows of zones that he's done a great job throttling. So it is a balance, but when in doubt, if your guys are playing fast, decisive, that's typically what you're getting your best out of, not only with Kyle but with the rest of the offense.
Does he have a better feel for the zones than he did when you first got here?
Yeah, I think it's just more understanding of the intent of the play and exactly, the coverage structures that we're playing. Hey, this is this type of team. They're playing their zones this way. Anticipate this look. And so I think he's understanding just overall defenses, in his fourth year now. And but he's had a great feel because Kirk's clicked back to him numerous times, throughout the season where he's just throttling in the zone and he gets vertical, and it might go down the stats as a gain of 8, but in the reality of the game, that was a big play. So he's done a really nice job with those.
Are you contributing to a quarterback wall of conspiracies? Quarterback room?
I'm not, but there's a lot of them. I'm trying to follow. There's probably, I've only heard of maybe 2 or 3 of the conspiracies, so I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, that thing's stacked up, and it's a pretty heavy list.
How much of the walls are taken up at this point?
It's probably about that wall down from Jimmy Cribb media room on down. It's stacked up pretty good. So
have you asked TJ or one of the guys
I usually stay away from it.
Airport or something like Denver Airport?
Well, I'm from Denver, so I've kind of heard that's one of the only ones I actually know a little bit about, but I'm going to stay away from it. I'm not a conspiracy theorist myself, but I do like hearing there's too many of them. I can't keep up.
Yeah, Coach. The opening drive last week, the false starts. I guess you had some operational issues there.
Yeah.
But what you got to do to get the opening drives back on start? I think you got 3 touchdowns. If you count the special teams one and the field goal.
Yeah, no, that was a tough start. You're trying to get a little bit of a rhythm going, and then you're just setting yourself back. Obviously, we can't have those. Operationally, everybody's got their hand in it, and we got to make sure that the communication is very clear from the quarterback to the offensive line, understanding the snap count and all those things that go into it, and then just executing the play. So that's stuff that we're definitely looking to correct because we cannot have those penalties or, as you guys know, drive killers, and it was a tough way to start that game.
They don't have a reputation for being loud, but is that getting a good start, helping to quiet the crowd down at the Great, Jay.
Absolutely, yeah. Anytime you can go down the field and score points on the opening drive is going to be a great thing. We always want to start fast. We've had some games where we've gone down the field and scored on the opening drive, which kind of can set the tempo for the rest of the game. So we're definitely looking forward to getting off to a little bit better start this week and putting our defense in a lot better position.
Because you have seen this Bucs team within the last 3 weeks, I'm curious from a strategy standpoint. You don't have to get into the nitty-gritty of it, but how do you as a coordinator balance, knowing what worked 2 weeks ago versus understanding that they're going to make adjustments and they're going to have things that they're going to want to do to take away from things that did work versus, hey, this worked the last time we played them and wanting to go back to it?
No, that is a great question, and I think I'll just keep the answer to myself. No, but no, it's a balance, and that's where we're going to find out, hey, what kind of game are they going to make it? They're going to find out from us what kind of game we're going to make it, and that's what the scheming and everything that goes into the week. That's what makes our job fun as coaches, to try to provide the best clarity and the best schemes that we can going into the week, and then just got to go play on Sunday. But definitely a good balance. I'm sure there'll be some things that are similar. There'll be things that are a lot different as well, and I'm anticipating the same thing on their side of the football.
Georgia sucks, yeah.
You guys are on camera?
On camera, I know.
Who was it specifically?
Charlie Warner. Charlie got me. Charlie got me. Unbelievable.
Nice shirt.
Thank you. Oh, that's funny.
I've ever heard you say saying Georgia sucks.
Hey, I love being here. But hey, it's all good.
Thank you, bud.
Yeah, Bijan, how are things going as you all prepare for the second meeting in a short period of time against the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I mean, things are going great. Obviously, we're just really locked into this game right here. This is a big, division game that we obviously want to pull out. But, I think we came in here on Monday and we've been, super focused, and we know what the task is. And, we didn't let that last game linger at all. And we just understand that, we got to come in here and go over there on Sunday and, do what we're supposed to do. Because I think if we click on all levels, then, we'll have the outcome that we want.
How much respect do you have for a guy like Levante David, who's got to try to follow you around some and so forth? He's done it in the league for a long time.
Yeah, I have, full respect for him. I think he's a, tremendous player. Just how he handles himself, how he handles the defense, and even for how long he's played in the league, he's still a very effective player and he moves very well. So I respect him a lot. I watch a lot of his tape, and I watch how he attacks the ball, attacks running backs, runs from sideline to sideline, and how he covers. So that's one player that I love to play against and just respect a lot.
Bijan, did you get a chance to watch the Monday night game with the Bucs, and did you learn anything new from that about the defense?
Yeah, I definitely watched it. Obviously it was a pound for pound game. The Ravens, they ran the ball very well. They executed well on offense. But I feel that that was their game, and obviously against us, they're going to come out with their game plan and come out differently, and we know that. So, but we know on our part that we have to match the intensity and bring the execution, because what the Ravens did on Monday was they executed a lot, and for us, if we do the same thing, then we can have the same outcome.
How mentally and as a team, how do you just wash a game like that? What was it like on Monday, having those conversations, being we need to move on?
Yeah, I mean, even in our team meeting, Rob was this was good. This was good that it happened to us. Obviously, a loss is never good. But for us, going on a 3-game winning streak and then, playing, being in a game like that and not having the same outcome that you want, it definitely stings. And, even what Ross said was let it sting all of Monday, so you can feel how that happened. But then when Monday night comes and you're about to go to bed, let it go. And I think that was really good that he said that, because I think we came in Tuesday. Obviously, it was an off day, but a lot of us, we were all here because we had a community event. But you know, we were all positive and we were all just ready to go for the next game. And even me just watching film with my running back coach, Coach Petrie, like he was like, bro, like this is a new team, a new goal, and you know we got to continue to just keep on doing what we're doing, and not let the past linger with us.
Was that tough or shocking to hear him say like it's a good thing this happened, like almost a reality check?
Yeah, I mean, because obviously when you lose, like that's never a good thing, but I think it's just to get refocused and not lax again. And obviously you don't want that feeling to happen again. So the fact that it happened right now was a good thing because we want to continue to go on those winning streaks, and we don't want to lose like how we did. So it was good, and especially at home too. But yeah, it's definitely something that you just don't hear of a lot. But I think it was good where his message was going.
If I'm remembering right, that last run Sunday got you over 100 yards. That's a milestone that we sort of pay attention to. Is it significant to you on a weekly basis?
It's not. I mean, obviously, like we have very high standards in the running back room. Like, we expect that standard every time we touch the field. Like, to have great games like that. But for me, I mean, it's I'm glad that God blessed me to do that. But we want to get the win at the end of the day too, and that's the most important thing is to win. But whenever you run great like that, it's always a great thing for yourself and for the offense. But I don't focus on it too much. But it's just like the standard that we have. That is the standard right there.
Bijan, for a young guy like you, second year in the league, how does that process of handling a loss compared to what you went through in college? Because you didn't lose often in college. Here it's a little more routine. Losses do happen. So how would you describe what that's like going through it?
Yeah, well, a college loss that's hard. NFL, both losses are hard, but like obviously college losses, like that's your whole season. You lose one game, you lose 2 games, 3 games, like you're done. Like your goals are done. Like for the end goal. But obviously the NFL is a little different because you can lose a game and it's not as important. Obviously it's very important, but it's not as important. But I think all losses hurt to me. I'd be in there sad. Y'all see me in the locker room at my locker just with my head down, talking to my mom or somebody. But I mean, you never want to lose a game. That's not the goal. Like you work too hard throughout the week to go in there and not have the outcome that you want. But for me, like I just try to push through and take it as a positive and do what I can to help the team, get over that, and then so we can get wins, going in other weeks.
Since you brought up a college loss, is this gift from Charlie a one-day thing, or does it have to be all week? No,
it's a one-day thing. Yeah, this shirt really is not cool. Like this shirt is really ugly. Like people were like, it looks good on you. I'm like, it doesn't. Like it's not a cool shirt. No, but yeah, that Texas loss definitely hurt. Got a lot of text messages. All the players were like, how you feel? Like Willie, our security guy, gave me a hug. I was like, dude, like I'm good. But yeah, they'll bounce back too. I mean, just like it was definitely a hard weekend for me, Saturday and Sunday. But just like how it will bounce back, they'll do the same thing.
Do you think that, because you said before that one loss kind of ends the season in college, do you think that's changed now? And Texas still has hopes given the expanded playoff? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, college obviously is changed, and I think you could probably lose like 2 or 3 games now and still make the playoffs. So, like, that's very different. Texas is definitely making the playoffs. Like, that's a no-brainer. But I think it definitely is. You get a little bit more leeway in college football now, which is pretty cool.
Bijan, someday you were, bouncing off guys, spinning off guys, shifting in the hole, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of performance that you had, the results that you got, is that? Did you feel that kind of thing coming, or is it one of those things as a running back? There's a little bit of randomness in terms of the way you get hit, when you go down, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I say it all the time, man. I feel like God has a timing. Like his timing is always perfect, and He's gonna lead you in the right moments at the right time. And for me, like I just got to keep on working hard and doing what I do on his part to have those kind of games. But it's like something that you just when you're in the zone too, and you're feeling it, like if it's like you just can't go down or you just can't have a bad play or have a negative play. And I always try to strive to be in those games every single game. But yeah, on Sunday it was definitely like I was feeling it. But from here on out, like I want to continue to keep feeling it like that, so we can help the team, help the offense, and so we can get wins like that too.
Yeah, I saw the one picture. You pray before every game. Is that your mom or?
Yeah, that's my grandma, auntie, and then grandpa. Mm-hmm.
And you started that in high school or just something?
I started at Pop Warner. Yeah, Pop Warner, and then high school, then never stopped.
Say a prayer for you before you go on the field.
Yep. I'll call them, or if I see them, there, then I'll go over to them, and then we'll say a prayer before we get started.
How would you assess where the offense is right now? Obviously, not the amount of points you guys wanted to score this last game, but how would you guys say the progression has been so far going into Tampa?
Progression has been great. I think we're making strides and leaps right now. Trying to go out there and, again, just put a full game together and honestly just not have games like we had last week with the Seahawks. I think we was just I don't want to say in a lull, but kind of just didn't go out there and do the things that we know we could have done at our best.
What do you think that was that you guys didn't do that you guys usually do in that game?
Just a lot of more explosive plays. I know Bijan had a lot, but get the passing game going and stuff like that. Bijan was killing it, but I know we could help the offense and just the team more if we do our part.
And potentially beating the Bucs for the second time and being undefeated against teams in the NFC South, how much confidence does that give you guys knowing that, hey, we're already undefeated against the NFC South. This could be really real for us this year.
No, that's it's amazing, and we got to go out there and try to win that game. It's a needed situation right now. So go to Tampa, handle business, and not to say that we'll be set, but it's definitely will look bright for us after that.
Kind of to that point, Drake, have all these early divisional games kind of been like a blessing in disguise in that way, and that you guys have, gotten into it so quickly, and you've been able to see where you're at right now?
Most definitely. It's good to kind of test the waters and see what's going on, especially in our division. And where we're sitting at right now is really good, and we're trying to improve on that.
When you don't have guys like, Mike in there and Chris, I know you guys as position players like to kind of see what the other guys do. Is that kind of matching up against somebody like that? I know you're not playing them, but just kind of playing against somebody that's at that level and trying to compete and kind of show what you can do?
You're talking about Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, right?
Being out and just, I know you guys as receivers are kind of a brotherhood, and just kind of playing against them and just kind of showing what you can do as well against somebody. So.
Could you state your question again?
I guess
Sorry,
it's just, them not being out there. I know you guys to compete against each other.
Of course. It's always good to compete against greats like that, especially Mike Evans. Feel bad for Chris Godwin, and I hope he gets better, It's not something you want to see, but as far as the game goes and stuff like that, those are two of their superstar players, So it's in our advantage, but at the same time, it's the game of football. We know what we sign up for, and at the end of the day, you don't want to wish injuries on anybody or hope that anybody's out because of injuries. It's just not who I am or who this team is.
Close game against Tampa the last time. What was the biggest takeaway from facing them from a receiver standpoint that you think you can maybe take advantage of again the second time you play them?
Just doing my job. That's pretty much it. Just finding open zones, beating man coverage, whatever it has to be in order to get the job done. I think that's just the sole focus this week.
Justin and Jessie were both pretty candid after the game and saying, taking accountability just from, as a team, obviously you're on offense, but what have you seen from their leadership, especially this week?
Their leadership, Jessie, right when he stepped foot into this building last year, and then all the way from training camp till now. He's been a leader for all of us, not even just defense. And then Justin as well has been an extremely valuable leader to us. And to have them go up there and have accountability like that means a lot to the team, and I know it means a lot to the defense. And I think that goes around. I took a lot of accountability because, that's a routine catch that I should have had. It could have set us up a little bit better. Maybe some dominoes fall our way. So I think there's accountability all across this facility right now.